I've been emotionally and physically abused by my husband for years, and I finally left him after he attacked me while I was pregnant. Am I wrong for cutting him out of my life completely? Hi Reddit, I'm 42 years old, and I've just come out of what I can only describe as a nightmare of a marriage. I'm hoping to get some perspective because I'm still grappling with the fallout. I know I'm not crazy, but it's been really hard to process everything that's happened. My name is Sarah, and I married Daniel when I was 24, and we had a world romance, and it seemed perfect at the time. Daniel was charming, kind, and made me feel like I was the most important person in the world. But that all started to change after we got married, and the emotional abuse started, small comments here and there. At first, I brushed them off. I thought maybe I was being too sensitive. But as time went on, it escalated. He started criticizing my looks, and calling me lazy, worthless for wanting to stay home with our son Alex while he worked, and he would tell me that I was holding him back, that my lack of ambition was the reason he couldn't succeed at work. It was hard to hear, especially since I was doing everything I could to take care of Alex and manage the household. But Daniel was never happy. No matter how hard I tried, I was never good enough. The lying out the turning point came when I found out I was pregnant again. Daniel was distant when I told him, and it only got worse. The emotional neglect turned into physical neglect, with Daniel staying away from home for days at a time. And then, when I went into the hospital for kidney failure, Daniel showed up, only to call me a burden. And the worst came when he physically attacked me. I was packing a suitcase in our bedroom when he slammed it into my head. Out of it, I still remember the shock, the pain, and how quickly everything shifted from bad to terrifying. The physical assault happened in front of Alex, and I was left to deal with the consequences alone. To help, my parents had to step in to help care for Alex while I was in the hospital. That was the moment I realizing, I couldn't keep pretending anymore. I couldn't keep trying to make a marriage work when my safety and well-being were at risk. Henry and I filed charges. Daniel was arrested and I filed for divorce. I'm now living with my parents and healing. But I'm still processing all of the emotional abuse, the years I spent in a toxic relationship, and the betrayal I felt from the person who was supposed to love me. It's been hard. Especially now that I'm a single mom with a baby on the way. I've cut ties with Daniel completely, had him air, and I'm not sure if I'm doing the right thing. I'm still struggling with the guilt of walking away from the marriage, but even though I know it was the right decision, am I wrong for cutting him out of my life? I feel like I'm finally free, but part of me wonders if I should have tried harder to fix things. It's so hard to let go after so many years of feeling like I wasn't good enough. First updating, thank you all for your supportive messages. And howing through reading through your comments has really opened my eyes to how much I've been carrying for years. And it's comforting to know that I'm not alone in this. I've made a few decisions, and I want to update you all on what's been happening. After the assault, I decided to go full steam ahead with the divorce. I've been in therapy, and my therapist has helped me realize that I've been carrying the weight of this toxic relationship for far too long. I was constantly trying to appease Daniel to make him happy, to prove that I was worth loving. But every attempt was met with more criticism, more manipulation. I'm starting to see that the abuse wasn't my fault, and I'm learning to accept that I didn't deserve any of it. The hardest part has been dealing with the guilt, and it's strange how easy it is to internalize blame, especially when you've been conditioned to think that nothing you do is ever good enough. But I've had to remind myself that leaving was the best thing I could do for Alex and for myself. No one should live in a situation where they're constantly made to feel worthless or unsafe. Daniel hasn't tried to contact me directly, but I've heard from his family. They've been saying things like, "You're ruining his life, and he's sorry, and he just wants to see Alex." To be honest, it feels like they're just enabling his behavior, and I've told him that I'm not interested in any communication with him. James, my fiancé, has been incredible through all of this. He's been supportive, not just in helping me navigate this legal process, but also in being a positive role model for Alex. I'm starting to feel hopeful again. Eating, I see a lot of comments asking if I'm planning to reconcile with Daniel. To be honest, I've thought about it, but I just can't. The abuse wasn't just physical. It was emotional, and it wore me down over the years. And I don't think he truly understands the extent of what he did, and even if he did, I don't believe I can trust him again. I'm moving forward with my life for the sake of my mental health and Alex's well-being. Second updating, it's been a couple of months now and things have changed a lot. The divorce is almost finalized, and I'm adjusting to life as a single mom. It hasn't been easy, but I'm finally starting to feel like I'm getting back on my feet. I've been focused on healing and building a life I can be proud of. I've been my therapist, and I have been working through the emotional scars from my marriage. I've learned, and I've learned about myself through this process. I've started working part-time again, and while it's a big adjustment, it feels good to have some independence. I also want to thank everyone who suggested I get involved in something outside of my day-to-day routine. I decided to start a cooking blog, something I've always wanted to do. It's been incredibly cathartic, and I've been able to share some of my experiences through food, which has always been a source of comfort for me. Out of it feels like I'm finally reclaiming a part of myself that I lost during the years I spent trying to make my marriage work. I haven't asked for Daniel. I haven't heard from him since he was arrested. His family still reaches out, but I've made it clear that I have no interest in maintaining any relationship with them. I'm focusing on my own healing. And I'm finally starting to feel free. I've been getting a lot of questions about how I'm doing with Alex. Honestly, I've been a header. He's been amazing through all of this. It's been tough for him, but he's starting to understand that we're safe now. We've been spending a lot of time together, and I'm really trying to be the mom he needs. I'm so grateful for James, who has been a steady presence in our lives. Final update, it's been 6 months since I last posted, and I wanted to update everyone on how things have been going. The divorce is finalized, and I'm now living in a small but cozy apartment with Alex. We've settled into a new routine, and I'm finally feeling like myself again. I've been able to focus on my health, my work, and my new cooking blog. But I'm not where I want to be yet, but I feel hopeful for the first time in years. James and I are doing well. We've been taking things slow, but he's been an amazing partner through all of this. He's been a great support system, especially when things have been tough. Alex has really warmed up to him, and I'm starting to see a future with someone who truly respects and values me. I haven't heard from Daniel or his family, and I've made it clear that I don't want any contact with them. I've come to terms with the fact that I will never get the closure I wanted from him. But I've also realized that I don't need it, and I've got my own life now, and I'm building something new. Thank you again to everyone who supported me through this journey, that I have learned that I am worthy of love and respect, and I'm never going back to a life where I'm made to feel anything less.